Hello, English learners! Welcome back to Daily English Talks. I'm Mia, and today we're going to do something that will truly change the way you practice English. We're going to focus on how to speak American English with confidence, naturally, and fluently, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. I know that many learners study grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation separately. But when it's time to actually speak with a native English speaker, everything feels different. The words come slower, the rhythm changes, and sometimes you feel unsure whether what you're saying sounds natural or not. That's what we'll fix today. You and I are going to practice speaking American English the way it's spoken in daily life, through real sounds, natural intonation, and everyday conversations. So get ready to listen carefully, repeat after me, and let your mouth, tongue, and ears start working together to build real fluency. Let's start by relaxing our speech. American English is smooth, connected, and musical. People don't speak word by word. They connect everything together. For example, instead of saying, "What are you doing?" most native speakers say, "Whatcha doin'?" Listen again. "Whatcha doin'?" It's fast, friendly, and relaxed. Now, say it with me, slowly at first. "What are you doing?" Good. Now say it more naturally. "Whatcha doin'?" Feel how the words blend together. The T in what becomes soft, almost disappears. That's what we call connected speech. Practice this with a few other examples. Did you eat becomes Didja eat? Don't you know becomes Duncha know? Would you like some coffee becomes Would you like some coffee? These small changes are what make American English sound natural. It's not just about the words. It's about how they flow. Now, let's do a short listening and speaking practice together. Imagine you're at a cafe with a friend. Friend says, "Hey, what you drinking today?" You say, "I'm thinking about getting an iced latte. How about you?" Friend says, "Same here. It's way too hot for hot coffee today." You say, "Yeah, totally. I need something cold and sweet." Now repeat this whole mini conversation after me. Slowly first, then naturally. Try to copy the rhythm, the tone, and the linking between words. This is how you start sounding like a native speaker, by repeating short, real-life lines, not by memorizing grammar rules. When native speakers talk, they don't think about grammar. They think about meaning and emotion. For example, when someone says, "Hey, what's up?" they don't mean, "What is up?" literally. They mean, "How are you?" or "What's going on?" Try it with me. "Hey, what's up?" "Not much, just chillin'." "Cool, same here." Repeat this small dialogue a few times. This rhythm, this tone, this casual feeling, that's real American English. You can practice this kind of English even when you're alone. Just imagine you're talking to someone. Pretend you're in a cafe, on the phone, or meeting a friend at the park. Speak to yourself out loud. For example, you can say, "Hey, how's it going? Long time no see." Then answer yourself, "Yeah, I've been busy lately. Work's been crazy." It might sound funny at first, but that's how your mouth learns to move smoothly in English. Now let's focus on intonation, the music of English. In American English, your voice goes up and down like waves. When you're asking a yes or no question, your voice goes up at the end. "Are you coming?" goes up. When you're making a statement, it usually goes down. "I'm coming" goes down. Let's try this together. Are you ready? Voice up. Yes, I'm ready. Voice down. Good. Try a few more. Do you like coffee? Yes, I love it. Do you work tomorrow? No, I'm off. Feel the melody in your speech. That melody helps people understand your emotion, your attitude, and your confidence. Now, pronunciation practice. One of the biggest differences between textbook English and American English is how sounds change when people speak naturally. For example, the T sound often becomes a soft D in the middle of words, like water becomes water. City becomes city. Better becomes better. Say these words with me. Water, city, better, later, little, butter. You can hear the soft D sound instead of the clear T. That's called a flap T sound, and it's one of the most common American sounds you'll hear. Now, practice sentences. It's better late than never. The water's on the table. She lives in a pretty city. He's a little tired. Say them slowly first, then naturally. Try to connect the words and soften the sounds. When you talk with native speakers, they don't listen for perfect grammar. They listen for clarity, rhythm, and connection. So your goal is to make your English flow like water. Smooth, easy, natural. Let's do another real-life practice. Imagine you're talking with a friend on the phone. You say, "Hey, are you free tonight?" Friend, "Yeah, maybe. What's up?" You, "I was thinking we could grab dinner or something." Friend, "Sounds good. Where do you want to go?" You, "Maybe that new pizza place downtown?" Friend, "Perfect. Let's meet at 7. Now repeat this full conversation with me. Slowly first, then at normal speed. Focus on linking the words. Grab dinner or something becomes grab dinner or something. Where do you want to go becomes where do you want to go. Practice it again until you feel comfortable. The more you repeat it, the more natural your mouth becomes. Every time you practice like this, imagine you're in a real situation, not studying, but living in English. Now, let's talk about stress in sentences. In American English, Some words are stressed more than others to show meaning. For example, I didn't say she stole the money can have 7 different meanings depending on which word you stress. If you stress I, it means someone else said it, not me. If you stress say, it means I didn't say it, maybe I wrote it. If you stress she, it means I didn't say she stole it, maybe someone else did. So, stress can completely change meaning. That's why it's important to listen carefully when you hear native speakers. Let's practice sentence stress with simple examples. I love coffee. The stress is on love. I need coffee. Stress is on need. I want coffee now. Stress is on want and now. Now say them again and feel the emotion in each one. Stress gives your speech life and color. You can train this by listening to movies or podcasts and repeating lines with the same rhythm and emotion. Don't just copy words, copy the feeling of how they say it. And remember, fluency doesn't come from speaking fast. It comes from speaking smoothly and confidently, even slowly. Let's finish this part with a mini speaking exercise. Imagine you're meeting someone new at work. You. Hi, I'm Mia. Nice to meet you. Colleague. Hey, Mia, welcome to the team. You. Thanks. I'm really excited to be here. Colleague. Where are you from? You. I'm from California, but I've lived in New York for a few years. Colleague. Oh, cool. I've always wanted to visit New York. You. It's a great city, busy, but full of energy. Now, practice saying this conversation naturally with your own rhythm and smile. This is how native speakers talk every day. Friendly, relaxed, confident. Don't worry about small mistakes. Mistakes mean progress. Every time you speak, you're training your brain and your mouth to work together. So take a deep breath, smile, and say to yourself, I can do this, because you can. That's it for now. Take a short break, grab some water, and get ready for the next part, where we'll go deeper into how to sound even more natural in American English through daily situations and practice conversations. So now that you've started feeling the rhythm and sound of American English, let's go even deeper into how native speakers really talk in everyday life. Because when you practice with real expressions, your confidence starts to grow naturally. Let's imagine you're having a casual chat with a friend at work or school. In American English, small talk plays a big role. It helps people connect and feel comfortable. When you start a conversation, you don't always need a serious topic. You can just say something simple like, Hey, how's your day going? Or, You look busy today. Try saying those aloud. Hey, how's your day going? You look busy today. Notice the relaxed tone. In American English, friendly intonation makes you sound warm and approachable. Now, here's a mini conversation you can practice. You. Hey, how's your day going? Friend. Pretty good, just a bit tired. How about you? You. Same here. It's been a long morning already. Friend. Yeah, tell me about it. Now repeat this whole exchange after me. Slowly first, then naturally, without overthinking each word. Remember, the goal is to sound relaxed and connected. One of the secrets to sounding more like a native speaker is using contractions. Native speakers almost always shorten their words in speech. For example, they say I'm instead of I am, you're instead of you are, they're instead of they are, he's instead of he is. So instead of saying, I am going to the store, you would hear, I'm going to the store. The to often becomes ta, and the G in going disappears. Try saying it now. I'm going to the store. Here are a few more examples. I'm gonna get some coffee. She's gotta go now. We're watching a movie tonight. They're coming over later. When you say these out loud, relax your mouth and jaw. Don't try to pronounce every letter clearly. Instead, focus on the overall sound and flow. That's how Americans speak naturally. Now, let's practice a few real-life examples together. Imagine you're on the phone with a friend. You. Hey, what are you up to right now? Friend. Not much, just hanging out. You? You. Same. I was thinking about grabbing lunch somewhere. Friend. Sounds good. Where do you want to go? You. Maybe that new sandwich place near the park? Friend. Oh yeah, I've heard it's good. Let's go. Now repeat this full conversation again, keeping your speech connected. What are you becomes whatcha. Grabbing lunch becomes grabbin' lunch. Where do you becomes where do ya. These little details make your English sound natural and native-like. Another thing to notice about American English is how expressions carry tone and emotion. For example, if you say, really, it can mean many things depending on how you say it. If you say it with rising intonation, really, it shows surprise or interest. If you say it with a flat tone, really, it might show doubt or boredom. And if you say it with excitement, really, it shows happiness or approval. So, the same word can express many feelings. That's why you should always listen carefully, not just to the words, but to the music of how native speakers say them. Let's practice that together. Say really, like you're surprised. Now say really, like you don't believe it. And now say really, like you're happy or impressed. Feel how your tone changes your meaning completely. Now imagine you're talking to someone about their weekend. You. Did you have a good weekend? Friend. Yeah, it was nice. Went to the beach. You. Really? That sounds awesome. Friend. Yeah, the weather was perfect. You. I wish I could have gone too. Now repeat this conversation naturally, matching the tone and rhythm. When you practice like this, you're not just learning words, you're learning feelings. Now, let's focus on another important part of American English, the casual filler words that native speakers use all the time. These are words like well, so, you know, I mean, and like. They don't add much meaning, but they make your speech sound more natural and conversational. For example, well, I'm not sure about that. So, what do you want to do? You know, it's kinda hard to explain. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, I didn't expect that at all. Repeat these lines after me, slowly, and pay attention to how natural they sound when you add those fillers. You don't have to use them all the time, but adding them sometimes makes your English flow better and feel more human. Now let's do a short exercise together. I'll say a sentence, and you try to make it sound more natural by adding a filler. I'm not sure. You can say, well, I'm not sure. I think it's okay. You can say, yeah, I think it's okay. It's too expensive. You can say, you know, it's too expensive. Perfect. You're already starting to sound more like a native speaker. Now, let's move into something very powerful, shadowing practice. Shadowing means repeating what you hear almost at the same time as you hear it. You listen closely and try to copy every detail, the sound, tone, and rhythm. Let's try a short example. I'll say a line and you repeat right after me, or even at the same time. I didn't get much sleep last night. Yeah, same here. I stayed up too late. I'm gonna need a lot of coffee today. Now, try to shadow those lines exactly as you hear them. Don't pause to translate or think about grammar. Just copy the sound. You can use this shadowing method with movies, YouTube videos, or even podcasts. It's one of the fastest ways to train your mouth to speak like a native speaker. When you shadow, don't worry if you make small mistakes. The goal isn't perfection, it's rhythm. The rhythm of English is what makes it flow naturally. Let's continue with some real daily life shadowing lines. Hey, could you pass me that? Sure. Here you go. Thanks. You're a lifesaver. No problem. Now try it again faster. Hey, could you pass me that? Sure. Here you go. Thanks. You're a lifesaver. No problem. You see how the sounds connect and soften? That's real American conversation. Now, let's practice polite conversation. Another key skill when talking to native speakers. Americans often use softeners to make requests sound polite. Instead of saying, "Give me the salt," they say, "Could you pass me the salt, please?" Or instead of "Close the window," they say, "Do you mind closing the window?" Let's practice a few together. Could you help me with this? Would you mind waiting a minute? Can you please send me that file? Would it be okay if I joined you? Say them slowly first, then naturally. These phrases make you sound friendly and respectful, just like native speakers in everyday life. Now let's imagine you're in a restaurant. You. Hi, could I get a table for two, please? Server. Of course, right this way. You. Thanks. Can we sit by the window? Server. Sure, no problem. You. Great, thank you so much. Repeat this conversation after me. This is the kind of polite, natural interaction you'll have when speaking with Americans. Notice how the tone is friendly, not formal. That's what makes American English sound approachable. Now let's talk a bit about reduction sounds. This is when words lose some sounds in fast speech. For example, going to becomes gonna, want to becomes wanna, got to becomes gotta, and kind of becomes kinda. Here are a few examples for you to repeat. I'm gonna call you Lat. Chom. I want to see that movie. I've got to finish my homework. It's kinda cold today. Now try them again with natural flow. I'm gonna call you later. I want to see that movie. I've got to finish my homework. It's kinda cold today. You'll hear these reductions in every American conversation. That's why learning them helps you understand and sound like a native speaker at the same time. Let's do a quick listening challenge. I'll say a few fast sentences, and you try to understand and repeat them naturally. What you doing later? I don't know, maybe hanging out with friends. Sounds fun. Can I come? Sure thing. Great job. Every time you repeat these kinds of lines, you're training your ear and your tongue at the same time. Now remember, fluency isn't just about knowing vocabulary, it's about being comfortable with real conversation flow. So from today, start practicing with real voices. Listen to American speakers, pause, and repeat their sentences exactly. And if you ever feel nervous speaking with native speakers, remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers do. The key is to keep going, keep speaking, and keep smiling. You're doing great so far. In the next part, we'll practice how to start and continue longer conversations with native English speakers using American-style expressions and conversation habits that will make you sound natural, confident, and fluent. Take a deep breath, stay relaxed, and I'll see you in the next part. All right. Welcome back. Let's keep going deeper into real American conversation practice. By now, you're getting used to how words connect, how the rhythm flows, and how intonation changes meaning. Now, we're going to focus on how to start and keep conversations going with native English speakers. You see, many English learners know how to say hello and ask simple questions, But what happens after that? The conversation often stops or feels awkward. That's what we're going to fix together today. The first thing you should know is that native English speakers love small talk. They use it to build comfort before moving into deeper topics. It's not about the topic. It's about connection. For example, if you meet someone at work or in class, you can start with something very simple like, "Hey, how's it going?" or "How's your morning so far?" Then you listen carefully and react naturally. If they say, "Pretty good, just busy," you can respond, "Yeah, same here. It's been a crazy day already." See how simple that is? You don't need a big question to sound friendly. Just a short exchange that feels natural. Let's do a short practice. You. "Hey, how's it going?" Them. "Good, good. Just getting some coffee." You. "Oh, nice. Me too. I can't start my day without coffee." Them. "Same here. It's a must." Now repeat it after me. Slowly first, then more naturally. Notice how every line is relaxed with words blending together. Getting some becomes gettin' some, and without becomes without. When you talk like this, you don't sound robotic. You sound real, human, and warm. Now, let's talk about keeping a conversation going. A common mistake many learners make is giving short answers. For example, when someone asks, "How was your weekend?" learners often say just, "It was good." But native speakers usually add something extra to continue the flow. So instead of saying only "it was good," try saying, "It was good. I went to the movies with my friends." Or, "It was great. I finally got to relax after a busy week." Here's a quick exercise. I'll say a question, and you'll try to respond with a full, natural sentence. How was your weekend? You answer, "It was nice. I spent some time with family." What do you usually do after work? You answer, "I usually grab dinner and watch something on Netflix." What kind of music do you like? You answer, "I am into pop and a bit of jazz depending on my mood." That's it. You see, all your answers have a natural flow now. When you add just a little more detail, you give the other person something to respond to. That's how real conversations continue. Now, let's talk about follow-up questions. These are small questions you ask to keep the conversation alive. They show you're interested and listening. For example, if someone says, "I went hiking last weekend," you can ask, "Oh, really? Where'd you go?" Or, "Nice. Do you go hiking often?" These small follow-ups turn short talks into real conversations. Let's do a practice together. Friend, I just started watching a new show. You. Oh yeah? What show? Friend. It's called Stranger Things. You. Oh, I've heard of it. Do you like it so far? Friend. Yeah, it's really good. Now repeat it after me. Slowly. and then again more naturally, connecting words like do you into dia. This is how native speakers connect, through questions, reactions, and genuine curiosity. Now, let's practice a bit of tone control. Because sounding polite and friendly depends not just on what you say, but how you say it. Try saying this line flatly. That's nice. It sounds a bit cold, right? Now say it with a smile in your voice. That's nice. Instantly, it feels warmer and more natural. Tone carries your emotion, even without perfect words. That's why sometimes native speakers can understand your feeling even before they understand the full sentence. Let's practice a few lines with tone. That's amazing. Say it with excitement. Really? Say it with surprise. Oh, no. Say it with sympathy. Wow, that's awesome. Say it with genuine joy. Your tone creates connection, and connection builds confidence. Now imagine you're meeting new people in a casual group setting, like a party or a work lunch. Here's how that might sound. You. Hey, I'm Mia. Nice to meet you. Other person. Hey, Mia. Nice to meet you too. I'm Chris. You. So, how do you know everyone here? Chris. Oh, I work with Alex. You. Oh, cool. I've heard Alex is Riat to work with. Chris. Yeah, he's awesome. See how that conversation flows smoothly? You're not forcing it. You're just asking natural questions and reacting kindly. Let's shadow that exchange together a few times. Focus on the connection between words and the tone of friendliness. Now, let's take a moment to talk about confidence. Many English learners feel shy when speaking with native speakers because they're afraid of being judged or misunderstood. But remember this, native speakers are not listening for your mistakes. They're listening to understand you and connect with you. So instead of thinking, what if I make a mistake? Try thinking, what if I make a friend? That small shift in mindset changes everything. Let's do a confidence practice. Say this out loud with me. I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I'm learning every time I speak. I can speak English confidently. I sound better every single day. Repeat those again with belief. Because confidence in your voice makes your English sound stronger and smoother automatically. Now, let's go back to real-world conversation practice. Imagine you're talking about your day with a colleague. You. How's your day going? Colleague. Pretty busy, lots of meetings. You. Oh yeah, same here. I can't wait to go home. Colleague. Tell me about it. You. At least tomorrow's Friday. Colleague. Thank goodness for that. Now repeat the conversation naturally. Try to copy the rhythm of real conversation. This is the kind of small talk that happens everywhere, in offices, classrooms, cafés, or even elevators. It's simple, but it keeps you connected with people. Now, let's talk about a powerful technique native speakers use: back-channeling. Back-channeling means giving small responses while someone else is speaking to show you're listening. For example, when someone's talking, you might say things like, "Yeah, right, exactly. Oh, really?" Or, "Uh-huh." These little sounds show that you're engaged in the conversation without interrupting. Let's practice this. Imagine I'm talking. "So I went to this amazing restaurant last night." Now you respond softly with, "Oh, really?" Then I say, "Yeah, and the food was incredible." You say, "Nice." Then I say, "They had the best pasta I've ever had." You say, "Wow, sounds amazing." You see, you're part of the conversation, even when you're not speaking full sentences. That's what makes native English conversations flow naturally. Now, let's practice some typical small talk topics that often come up in daily life. Topic 1. Weather. You. "It's really hot today, isn't it?" Friend. "Yeah, I can't believe it's already this warm." You. "I know, summer came early this year." Friend. "I kinda like it though. Makes me want to go to the beach." Now practice that with rhythm. Connect words like "it is" into "it's" and "want to" into "wanna." Topic 2. Weekend plans. You. "Got any plans for the weekend?" Friend. "Not sure yet. Maybe just relax." You. "Nice, that sounds perfect. I might go hiking." Friend. "Oh, cool, where?" You. "Probably near the lake. The weather should be great." Repeat it a few times until the rhythm feels natural. Now, one more topic: food. Because Americans love talking about food. You. "I'm starving. I could really go for a burger right now." Friend. "Same. There's a new place downtown. Have you tried it?" You. "Not yet, but I've heard it's good." Friend. "Let's check it out sometime." Perfect. That's how small talk becomes real talk. Now, let's talk about pronunciation of some tricky American sounds that make a big difference. The R sound in American English is stronger than in British English. Words like car, word, bird, learn, and tired have that deep R sound. Try it with me slowly. Car, word, bird, learn, tired. Keep your tongue slightly curled back and your lips rounded, not flat. Another important sound is the th sound in words like this, that, and think. Put your tongue gently between your teeth and blow air softly. Try it. This, that, think. Thank you. Now say this mini sentence. I think that this is better. Slowly. Now faster. I think that this is better. Great. You're getting the hang of it. Finally, Let's do a short self-practice activity. I'll describe a situation and you imagine you're there and speak out loud what you'd say. You're in a coffee shop ordering your drink. You, "Hi, could I get a medium latte, please?" Barista, "Sure, anything else?" You, "No, that's all, thanks." Barista, "That'll be $5.50. You, "Here you go." Barista, "Thank you." You, "Thanks, have a good one." Now repeat that scene naturally 2 or 3 times. You're building automatic confidence in everyday English situations. All right, you're doing an amazing job so far. The more you practice these real conversations, the more automatic your English will become. In the next part, we'll explore how to understand and respond naturally to fast American speech, and how to use phrases that native speakers say every single day. It's going to help your listening and speaking grow together. Take a deep breath, smile, and let's continue this journey to sounding like a real American English speaker. You're doing great so far. You've practiced natural rhythm, small talk, pronunciation, and sentence flow. Now, let's go a little further into how to understand native speakers when they talk fast, and how to respond naturally without freezing or feeling nervous. Sometimes when you listen to native English speakers, everything feels like a blur. The words seem to disappear, the sounds connect, and suddenly you think, "Wait, what did they just say?" But don't worry. That happens to almost everyone learning English. The first thing to remember is that native speakers often reduce words and connect sounds. So you might hear, "Did you eat?" as "Did you eat?" "What do you want to do?" as "What do you want to do?" Or "How did you do that?" as "How'd you do that?" They don't say it slowly, like in textbooks. They blend sounds together like music. That's why it's so important to train your ear for natural speech patterns. Let's do a short listening and repeating exercise. I'll say a line as a native speaker would, and you repeat it right after me. "Whatcha up to?" "I don't know, just hanging out." "Sounds good." "Yeah, nothing special." Say it again, but this time don't focus on spelling. Focus on sound. Whatcha, dunno, hanging out. That's real spoken English. Now imagine you're meeting a friend at the park. Friend, "Hey, what you doing here?" You, "Just taking a walk. You?" Friend, "Same, needed some fresh air." You, "Yeah, it's such a nice day." Repeat that dialogue slowly, then again naturally. Try to match the soft, relaxed way Americans speak. Nothing too sharp, nothing too stiff, just smooth and easy. When you speak this way, you start to feel the flow of the language. It's not about memorizing, it's about rhythm and comfort. Let's talk about listening tricks that help you understand faster. When native speakers talk, don't try to catch every single word. Instead, focus on keywords and context. For example, if someone says, "Hey, sorry I'm late, the traffic was crazy," you don't need to process every sound. You just catch sorry, late, and traffic, and instantly you know what's happening. This is what fluent listeners do. They listen for the message, not for perfection. Let's practice this. I'll say a few sentences quickly, and you try to catch the key meaning. I was gonna call you, but my phone died. I'll grab something to eat before the movie. Can you believe how cold it is today? Now repeat them slowly and think, what was the main idea in each one? Don't worry about small details. Just get the feeling. When you listen to fast American speech, your brain starts adapting if you keep practicing daily. That's why shadowing and repetition are so powerful. Now, let's practice short, everyday phrases that Americans use constantly. Sounds good means, okay, that's fine with me. Sure thing means, of course. No worries means, that's okay, don't worry. Take care means, goodbye, be safe. Catch you later means, see you soon. Let's repeat them together. Sounds good. Sure thing. No worries. Take care. Catch you later. Now practice these phrases in small conversations. You. Wanna grab coffee tomorrow? Friend. Sure thing. You. Cool. I'll text you the time. Friend. Sounds good. Or this one. You. Hey, sorry I'm late. Friend. No worries. You. Traffic was bad. Friend. Yeah, I get it. Happens all the time. These little phrases make your English sound natural and friendly. Now let's move to how Americans use intonation to express emotion even with short words. For example, if you say, really, with a flat tone, it sounds uninterested. But if you raise your pitch at the end, really, it sounds curious and alive. Practice this difference. Flat, really, curious, really, surprised, really. Each tone tells a different story. In conversations, your tone can do more than your grammar ever could. Here's a quick tone practice you can do daily. Pick any short word, like yeah, sure, or okay, and say it with 5 different emotions: happy, tired, surprised, sad, and sarcastic. Let's try it. Yeah. Happy. Yeah. Tired. Yeah. Curious. Yeah. Sad. Yeah. Right. Sarcastic. Tone practice helps you sound expressive and alive, just like real American speakers. Now, let's go into some real-world practice scenes. Imagine you're at a grocery store. Cashier. Hi, how are you today? You. Good, thanks. How about you? Cashier. I'm good. Did you find everything okay? You. Yeah, thanks. Just these. Cashier. All rig. That'll be $18.50. You. Here you go. Cashier. Thank you. Have a great day. You. You too. Now practice it again slowly, then more naturally, connecting words like how are you, how are ya, and did you, Didja. When you get comfortable repeating these real dialogues, you'll never freeze in everyday situations. Now let's talk about thinking in English. When you practice speaking with native speakers, the goal isn't to translate your thoughts from your first language. It's to think directly in English. For example, instead of thinking in your native language, I am going to eat lunch, and then translating it into English, you should just see the image of lunch in your mind and say, I'm gonna grab lunch. The faster you connect images and feelings to English phrases, the more natural you'll sound. Let's do a quick exercise to train your mind for this. Imagine you're sitting at your desk. What do you see? A laptop? Maybe a cup of coffee? Some papers? Now, describe it aloud in English without translating. I'm sitting at my desk. There's a cup of coffee next to me. It smells good. Now imagine you're outside, maybe walking down the street. It's a bit chilly. The wind feels nice. I can hear cars passing by. This kind of self-talk is one of the best ways to practice speaking like a native speaker when you're alone. Let's move to response practice. When native speakers talk, they expect short, quick responses, not long, formal sentences. For example, if someone says, "How was your weekend?" you can say, "Pretty good," or "Not bad, thanks," instead of a long explanation. If someone says, "Thanks for helping," you can say, "No problem," or "Anytime," instead of "You are welcome." Let's repeat some natural responses together. Thanks. No problem. How are you? Good. You? See ya. See ya later. Sorry about that. All good. Wanna join? Sure, why not? You can practice these every day until they come out automatically. Now, let's practice another real-life scenario. Talking to someone new at a café. You. Hi, is anyone sitting here? Other person. No, go ahead. You. Thanks. I love this place. The coffee's so good. Other person. Yeah, totally. I come here all the time. You. Nice. I just discovered it last week. Now practice that whole exchange again, slowly and naturally. Notice how relaxed it sounds. American English isn't about perfection. It's about comfort, friendliness, and rhythm. Let's try a few more conversation builders you can use when you meet native speakers. That's interesting. Tell me more. Oh, really? How did that happen? No way, that's so cool. I get what you mean. Yeah, I totally understand. These short reactions help you sound engaged and keep the conversation alive. Now, pronunciation time again. Let's work on the R and L distinction because it's important in American speech. Say these pairs slowly with me. Right, light, rice, lice. Road, load, really, lily. Keep your tongue slightly back for R and flat for L. Practice it until your mouth feels the difference. Now say these sentences. I really like your road trip photos. She's learning a lot lately. You're doing great. Remember, your mouth learns through movement. The more you repeat, the more automatic it becomes. Now let's talk about slang and casual expressions that native speakers use every day. If someone says, I'm beat, it means, I'm really tired. If they say, let's hang out, it means, let's spend time together. If they say, that's awesome, it means, that's great. If they say no big deal, it means, it's okay, not a problem. And if they say I'm down, it means I'm interested or I agree. Let's use these in short dialogues. Friend. Wanna grab dinner tonight? You. Yeah, I'm down. Friend. How was your day? You. Pretty good, but I'm beat. Friend. Sorry, I forgot to call you. You. No big deal, don't worry. Now practice them naturally until they roll off your tongue easily. When you start using little expressions like these, native speakers instantly feel more comfortable with you because you sound familiar and real. All right, let's do a mini fluency drill before we wrap up this part. I'll say quick, natural sentences. You repeat immediately after me without pausing to think. Hey, how's it going? Not much, just chillin'. Wanna grab lunch? Sure, sounds good. I'll text you later. Cool, see ya. Now faster. Hey, how's it going? Not much, just chillin'. Wanna grab lunch? Sure, sounds good. I'll text you later. Cool, see ya. This kind of speed shadowing builds reaction speed and real-world fluency. Remember, the goal isn't to speak fast, it's to speak naturally. You've made excellent progress so far. And in the next part, we're going to explore more real-life conversations, especially those with different emotions like excitement, surprise, or confusion, and how native speakers express them in daily English. So take a little pause, stretch your mouth, relax your jaw, maybe sip some water, and get ready for more fun, real-life American English practice in the next part. You're doing an amazing job so far. Each part we've done together is helping you sound more natural, more confident, and more connected to real American English. In this part, we're going to focus on emotions, how native speakers express feelings like surprise, happiness, frustration, or confusion in everyday conversations. Because when you can express emotions naturally, your English stops sounding like a classroom language and starts sounding alive. Let's start with surprise. Americans often show surprise with short, expressive words and strong tone changes. For example, wow. Really? No way. You're kidding. Seriously? These phrases sound small, but they carry a lot of emotion. Let's try them one by one. Say wow with real surprise. Wow. Now, no way, like you just heard something unbelievable. No way. Then, you're kidding, like you can't believe it. You're kidding. Now imagine your friend says, "Guess what? I just won a free trip to Hawaii." You respond, "No way, that's amazing." Then your friend says, "Yeah, I can't believe it." You say, "That's awesome, you're so lucky." Let's repeat this mini dialogue again, slowly, and feel the emotion in your voice. You see, in American English, emotion isn't just about words. It's about energy and tone. Now, let's move to happiness and excitement. Native speakers often stretch sounds and add friendly exaggeration when they're happy. For example, "That's so cool," or "I'm so happy for you," or "That's awesome." Try saying them aloud now. "That's so cool." "I'm so happy for you." "That's awesome." These sound natural because the voice goes up, not flat. It's musical, expressive, warm. Let's do a small practice together. Imagine your friend says, "I just got a new job." You say, "Oh, wow, that's awesome. Congratulations." Then your friend says, "Thanks, it's been a long process." You say, "I'm really happy for you." Now repeat that exchange a few times until it feels smooth and emotional. Now let's talk about how Americans express confusion or surprise when they don't understand something. They might say, "Wait, what?" Or, "Huh?" Or, "Sorry, what do you mean?" Or, "Can you say that again?" Here's a quick example. I thought we were meeting at 5. Friend: No, I said 6. Wait, what? I thought you said 5. Friend: Oh no, 6 o'clock. My bad. Now, repeat it naturally. Notice that "wait, what?" sounds friendly, not rude. It's just a normal way to express confusion in American English. And "my bad" is a very common casual way of saying, "Sorry, it was my mistake." Let's practice that. Say "my bad" in a few tones. Apologetic, funny, casual. My bad. Now, when Americans are frustrated, they use soft expressions to stay polite, even when annoyed. For example, "That's frustrating." "Ugh, that's annoying." "I can't believe that happened." "Come on," or "Seriously." Here's a mini example. I missed my bus again. Friend: Ugh, that's so annoying. Yeah, seriously, this always happens. Try saying it with the same tone you'd use in real life. Not angry, but natural and relatable. You can also practice emotion by watching short clips of movies or series and repeating lines with the same feelings: happy, sad, excited, or tired. Now let's talk about something every native speaker uses: reaction words. In American English, we constantly react while listening with small expressions like uh-huh, yeah, right, oh wow, that's true, I know, or exactly. These short sounds keep the conversation alive and show you're listening. Let's practice them naturally. Say uh-huh softly as if agreeing. Uh-huh. Then yeah. Then right. Then exactly. Now imagine a conversation where someone says, "It's been so cold lately." You respond, "Yeah, totally." Then they say, "I can't wait for spring." You say, "Same here." These small exchanges make you sound like a real American speaker because you're participating actively. Now, let's do another round of real-world practice. This time about making plans with a friend. You. Hey, are you free this weekend? Friend. Maybe Sunday. What's up? You. I was thinking about going to the farmer's market. Friend. Oh, cool. I love that place. You. Wanna come with me? Friend. Sure. Sounds fun. Now repeat it slowly, then naturally. Notice how short and quick the responses are. That's exactly how American English sounds in real life. Now, let's add some connected speech practice to make you sound smoother. Say these sentences slowly first, then naturally. What are you doing? Whatcha doin'? How did you do that? How'd you do that? Do you want to go? Do you want to go? Let me see it. Let me see it. Give me that. Gimme that. These are not slang. They're just natural reductions that every native speaker us. As in daily conversation, let's practice with short, real examples. You. Hey, let me see that photo. Friend. Sure, here you go. You. Wow, that's beautiful. Where'd you take it? Friend. In Colorado last year. You. Nice. I've always wanted to go there. Now repeat that conversation naturally until it feels comfortable to say "lemme," "where'd ya," and "here you go." Another key to sounding native is using tag questions. These are little questions you add to the end of a sentence to invite agreement, like, "It's nice, isn't it?" Or, "You're coming, right?" Or, "You like it, don't you?" Let's practice. It's a great day, isn't it? You're tired, aren't you? You've been there before, right? You like pizza, don't you? Try saying them with friendly intonation. The voice goes up at the end, showing you're inviting a response. Now use them in a conversation. You. It's cold today, isn't it? Friend. Yeah, freezing. You. I can't wait for spring. Friend. Same here. Great. you're learning not only words, but the natural rhythm of communication. Now, let's practice talking about feelings and opinions, because these are topics that help you connect deeply with native speakers. When you want to share your thoughts, you can start with phrases like, I think, I feel like, in my opinion, to be honest, I guess. Let's use these in examples. I think this restaurant's amazing. I feel like I need a break. In my opinion, that movie was too long. To be honest, I didn't really enjoy it. I guess everyone has different tastes. Now practice those sentences again, adding your own rhythm. When you talk to native speakers, it's not about perfect vocabulary. It's about expressing your ideas smoothly and naturally. Now, let's practice agreeing and disagreeing politely. Another important part of real conversations. If you agree, you can say, yeah, totally, exactly. I know, right? That's so true. If you disagree politely, you can say, I see your point, but I'm not sure I agree. Maybe, but I think, here's an example. Friend, I think mornings are the best time to study. You, yeah, maybe, but I actually focus better at night. Now, another one. Friend, I didn't like that movie. You, really? I thought it was great. This is how Americans express opinions in a friendly way. Never too direct, never too flat, just relaxed and conversational. Now let's do some pronunciation flow practice again. Repeat after me, slowly at first. I'm gonna grab some lunch. Wanna come? Sure, sounds good. Cool, let's go. Now, faster. I'm gonna grab some lunch. Wanna come? Sure, sounds good. Cool, let's go. You can hear how the rhythm creates a natural melody. Now, another powerful fluency exercise. Mirror speaking. This means you listen to a native speaker, maybe from a YouTube video or a podcast, and then you imitate exactly what they say. Not just the words, but the emotion, the speed, and even the pauses. If they laugh a little, laugh too. If they pause, pause too. This trains your brain to think and sound like a native speaker automatically. You can do this for just 5 minutes a day, and the improvement will surprise you. Now, to close this part, let's do a real-world scenario to combine everything we've practiced so far. Imagine you meet someone new at a casual event. You, hey, I'm Mia. Nice to meet you. Other person, hey, I'm Jake. Nice to meet you too. You, so, how do you know everyone here? Jake, oh, I'm friends with Lisa. What about you? You, same. We went to school together. Jake, no way. Small world. You, yeah, totally. Now, Repeat that scene a few times with feeling. Let the tone rise and fall naturally. Each time you practice a scene like this, you're not just learning English. You're training your instincts to react in real time like a native speaker. And that's the secret. Fluency is not about speed. It's about comfort, eye connection, and flow. You've done amazing work in this part. In the next section, we'll go even deeper. You'll learn how to use native-style expressions for giving opinions, telling stories, and reacting to daily situations. It's so good to have you here again. You've been doing such wonderful work, and I hope you can already feel your English sounding smoother, more natural, and more alive with every practice we've done together. In this part, we're going to focus on daily life storytelling. Because native English speakers love to tell little stories about their day, their weekend, or something funny that happened. It's one of the most natural ways to connect with people in English. Now, when Americans tell a story, they don't use complicated words. They just speak with emotion, short sentences, and clear rhythm. For example, they might say, "You won't believe what happened today." Or, "So I was walking to work, right? And suddenly it started raining." Let's try this style together. Imagine you're telling your friend about something funny that happened yesterday. You. "So, I was making breakfast this morning, and my toast flew out of the toaster and landed on the floor. I just stood there like, seriously?" Friend. "Ha ha, that's hilarious." You. "Yeah, I couldn't stop laughing." Now say that story again. Slowly first, then naturally. Notice how the story flows easily when you add feeling and rhythm. The secret to storytelling in American English is using connecting words like so, then, and, but, anyway, and, you know. These small connectors make your speech sound natural and conversational. Let's practice with another example. "So, I went to the store yesterday, right? And I saw my old teacher there. I hadn't seen her in years. And she remembered me." See how so and make the story feel natural? They help you sound like you're thinking and talking at the same time. Now, let's do a practice exercise together. I'll say a sentence, and you continue it naturally out loud. "I was walking home yesterday when..." You might say, "I saw a beautiful sunset," or "It suddenly started to rain," or "My friend called me out of nowhere." Now another one. "Last weekend I decided to..." You might say, "Try cooking something new," or "Go to the beach with my friends," or "Stay home and relax." This is how you build fluency. By training your brain to continue sentences naturally without stopping to think about grammar. Now let's talk about how to react to other people's stories. When native speakers listen to someone, they often respond with short emotional reactions like, "Oh no," or "That's crazy," or "You're kidding," or That's so cool. Let's practice those right now. Say, oh no, with surprise. Then, that's crazy, with disbelief. You're kidding, with shock. And that's so cool, with excitement. Now imagine your friend says, I met a celebrity at the airport. You say, no way, who was it? Then your friend says, it was Taylor Swift. You say, that's awesome, you're so lucky. You see how short and reactive that feels? That's how real American conversations move, with energy, reaction, and curiosity. Now, let's shift to phrases that native speakers use to start stories. Here are some common ones. You won't believe what happened. So, funny story. I've got to tell you something. Guess what? You know what happened yesterday? Let's use one in a short dialogue. You. Guess what? Friend. What? You. I finally passed my driving test. Friend. That's amazing. Congrats. You. Thanks. It took me 3 tries. Friend. Hey, better late than never. Now repeat that naturally a few times until you can say it without thinking. Now, let's talk about telling stories about the past naturally. Native speakers often use simple past verbs like went, did, saw, made, had, and was. But they say them quickly and smoothly, often dropping small words like have or did in casual speech. For example, instead of saying, I have seen that movie, they say, yeah, I saw it. Or instead of, I did not have time, they say, I didn't have time. Let's practice some short examples. I went to the gym yesterday. I saw that movie last night. I didn't have time to cook. I met my old friend at the park. I had such a good day. Now say them again, faster and more naturally. Focus on the smooth sound, not the perfect grammar. You can also practice connecting sentences in a story. I woke up early today, but I didn't feel like getting up. I made some coffee, sat down, and started reading. Then my phone rang, and it was my friend. We ended up talking for an hour. Try repeating this rhythm a few times. It's calm, clear, and natural. Now let's talk about showing interest while someone else is talking. Native speakers often say things like, that's interesting. Really? I didn't know that. Good for you. Oh, nice. Or, I get it. Let's practice these with tone. That's interesting. Neutral curiosity. Really? Surprise. I didn't know that. Soft acknowledgement. Good for you. Encouraging tone. Oh, nice. Friendly. I get it. Understanding. Now, let's create a short, real-life conversation where you use some of these reactions. Friend. I started learning Spanish. You. Oh, nice. That's great. Friend. Yeah, I've been practicing for a few months now. You. That's interesting. I've always wanted to learn another language too. Now repeat that naturally until it feels smooth. You can practice this kind of short exchange any time, even by yourself, by pretending to react to imaginary conversations. Now, let's move on to how to tell stories with emotion. Americans love to use expressions to make their stories lively. For example, it was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. I was so embarrassed. It scared me so much. It was the best day ever. Let's put these into practice. You won't believe what happened. Friend. What? I slipped on the ice in front of everyone. Friend. Oh no. Yeah, but I couldn't stop laughing after that. Now repeat it naturally with feeling. Smile as you speak. Your emotion will naturally show in your voice. Now, let's work on how to ask follow-up questions that keep the conversation flowing. If someone tells you something interesting, you can ask, "Really? What happened next?" "Wow, where was that?" "That's cool. Who were you with?" "Oh yeah, how did that go?" These questions show curiosity and invite the other person to share more. That's exactly what native speakers do to keep conversations alive. Let's try one. Friend. I went skydiving last weekend. You. No way! How was it? Friend. It was amazing. I was so nervous at first. You. I can imagine. Would you do it again? Friend. Absolutely. Perfect. Now repeat that scene again slowly, and then at natural speed. When you speak like this, you sound engaged and confident. And that's how real friendships and connections are built through language. Now, let's practice another common real-life topic, talking about your weekend. Americans love asking, "How was your weekend?" It's one of the most common Monday questions. Let's build a natural response together. It was great. I went out with some friends on Saturday, and then I just relaxed on Sunday. Or, pretty quiet. I just stayed home and watched a few movies. Or, it was okay. I didn't do much, just caught up on some sleep. These answers sound simple, but they keep the conversation open. Let's put it in a mini dialogue. Colleague. Hey, how was your weekend? You. Pretty good, thanks. I went hiking with a few friends. Colleague. Oh, nice. Where'd you go? You. Up in the mountains. The weather was perfect. Colleague. That sounds amazing. You. Yeah, it really was. Now repeat it naturally, connecting how was, how's, and where did you, where'dya. The goal isn't speed, it's flow. Let's take one more practice round for pronunciation of connected speech. I'm gonna head out. I'll see you later. Talk to you soon. Gotta go now. Take it easy. Say them naturally. Feel how your mouth relaxes when you speak in rhythm. Now, let's work on storytelling emotion and pauses. When native speakers tell stories, they use pauses to build interest. For example, so, guess what happened next? Or, and then, you won't believe this. Those pauses make people listen. Try adding them when you practice stories. They make your English sound dramatic and real. Now let's combine everything in one last story for this part. You. So, I was driving to work the other day, and suddenly this huge dog ran across the road. I stopped right away, of course. And the dog just looked at me like nothing happened. Then the owner came running, shouting, "I'm so sorry." I just laughed. It totally made my morning. Now say it again slowly, then more naturally, with pauses and emotion. That's how you build real, natural storytelling confidence. Remember, the best English speakers aren't the ones who know every word. They're the ones who make people feel comfortable when they speak. And that's exactly what you're learning to do. You're doing incredible work. And in the next part, we'll practice speaking in conversations that happen in different situations, at work, with friends, and in daily routines, so you can sound completely natural anywhere. Take a breath, smile, and let's continue building your beautiful American English together. You've come so far, and your dedication truly shows. You're not just learning English words anymore. You're learning how to live in English, how to sound real, relaxed, and confident when you speak with native speakers. In this part, we'll explore how American English sounds in everyday life, at work, in casual conversations, and during simple daily moments. You'll practice the kind of English people actually use every single day. Let's begin with the workplace. Imagine you've just started a new job in an English-speaking company. The first few days can feel overwhelming. Everyone talks quickly, uses casual phrases, and jokes around. But don't worry. Most of the time, they're just being friendly. Here's how a natural workplace conversation might go. You. Hey, morning. How's it going? Colleague. Hey, pretty good. Just catching up on emails. You? You. Same here. I've got so many messages today. Colleague. Tell me about it. Mondays are the worst. You. Yeah, totally. I could use another coffee already. Colleague. Haha, same. Coffee keeps us alive. Now repeat that dialogue slowly, then more naturally. Notice how every line is simple, short, and relaxed. That's how American coworkers usually talk. Friendly, informal, but still polite. Let's go through some workplace phrases that are used constantly. Sounds good? Means you agree. Let's do it. Means you're ready to start. I'll take care of it. Means you'll handle the task. Let's catch up later. Means you'll talk again soon. Keep me posted. Means update me when you can. Now say them with me, one by one. Sounds good. Let's do it. I'll take care of it. Let's catch up later. Keep me posted. Now let's create a small natural exchange using them. Boss, can you send me that report by noon? You, sure, I'll take care of it. Boss, thanks, let's review it this afternoon. You, sounds good. I'll keep you posted. Perfect. This is real workplace English. Polite, natural, confident. Now let's move to a different setting. Chatting with friends after work. You. Hey, what are you up to tonight? Friend. Not much. Maybe grab dinner. You? You. I'm down. I know a good place nearby. Friend. Nice. What kind of food? You. Italian. They've got the best pasta. Friend. Say no more. Let's go. Repeat that naturally. Focus on the rhythm of short sentences and smooth connection between words. That's how Americans talk in relaxed social settings. Casual, quick, and musical. Now let's go through some useful everyday idioms and expressions that will help you sound more natural in these moments. To call it a day means to stop working. Hit the road means to leave. Hang in there means to stay strong. Piece of cake means something is easy. Under the weather means you're feeling sick. Let's practice using them in context. You. I think I've done enough for today. Friend. Yeah, let's call it a day. You. I've got to hit the road soon. Friend. All right, drive safe. You. I've been feeling a bit under the weather. Friend. Oh no, hope you get better soon. You. That test was easy, total piece of cake. Friend. Lucky you, I struggled with it. Now repeat them slowly, then faster. These idioms make your speech sound authentic and friendly, just like how Americans really talk. Now, let's practice polite ways to give opinions or suggestions in American English. Instead of saying, "You're wrong," which sounds direct, Americans might say, "I'm not sure about that," or "I see your point, but maybe we could." Let's try a few examples. I see what you mean, but I think there's another way to do it. I'm not sure that's the best idea. Maybe we could try something different. That's one way to look at it. These soft expressions make your English sound kind and respectful, which is important in American culture. Now let's practice these in a workplace conversation. Colleague, I think we should skip the meeting tomorrow. You, I see what you mean, but I think it's still important to meet once this week. Colleague, yeah, you're probably right. See how polite and balanced that sounds? You're disagreeing, but in a gentle and professional way. Now, let's go back to casual English, the kind you'll use with friends every day. Americans use phrasal verbs constantly. Combinations like hang out, pick up, run into, find out, catch up, get together, show up, and figure out. Let's use them in short examples. I'm gonna hang out with my friends this weekend. I ran into my old teacher yesterday. Let's catch up soon. I need to figure out how to fix this. She didn't show up to the party. Now repeat these lines naturally and focus on the stress. The verb and the particle usually connect as one smooth sound. Now let's make a dialogue with them. Friend. Hey, what did you do last night? You. Not much, just hung out with some friends. Friend. Nice. Did you see Jake? You. Yeah, I ran into him at the cafe. Friend. No way. How's he doing? You. Good, we caught up a bit. Now, practice this mini scene out loud. These are the exact kinds of phrases you'll hear every day from native speakers. Let's practice daily routine talk, something Americans often chat about casually. You. Mornings are so busy for me. Friend. Same. I always wake up late. You. I know. I keep hitting snooze. Friend. Ha ha. Me too. I can't function without coffee. You. Right? Coffee is life. Now repeat that again. Feel the rhythm and laughter in it. This is the kind of easy, everyday English that connects people instantly. Now, let's work on intonation and reaction tone again, using short, emotional words that you can add anywhere to make your English sound. Idea live. Try these with me. Wow. Oh, really? No way. That's awesome. Are you serious? You're kidding. Exactly. Right. Now use them in context. Friend, I just got a new car. You. No way. That's awesome. Friend, I failed my test. You. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that. Friend, I'm going on vacation next week. You. Wow. Lucky you. This is exactly how native speakers express energy in conversations. They react with short, emotional, supportive words. Now let's talk about how to be an active listener. When you talk with native speakers, it's important to show you're listening, not by saying a lot, but by reacting at the right times. You can nod, smile, and say small words like, yeah, right, oh, really, I get it, or that's true. Let's practice that in a short example. Friend, I've been so busy this week. You. Yeah, I can imagine. Friend, I barely had time to sleep. You. Oh no, that sounds rough. Friend, hopefully next week's better. You. Yeah, fingers crossed. Repeat that conversation slowly and focus on those small reaction phrases. They make you sound attentive and friendly. Now, let's move on to another common conversation topic, making plans. You. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Friend. Not sure yet. Why? You. I was thinking we could go hiking. Friend. That sounds fun. I'm in. You. Cool. Let's plan for Saturday morning. Friend. Perfect. I'll bring snacks. Practice that a few times, and you'll notice how natural and cheerful it feels. Here are some other common phrases for making plans. Let's grab dinner sometime. We should hang out soon. Text me when you're free. Let's do it. I'll let you know. Now repeat those naturally with a smile. Now, let's practice polite phone English. Since many learners find it difficult to understand and respond quickly on the phone. You. Hello, this is Mia speaking. Caller. Hi, is this a good time to talk? You. Sure, go ahead. Caller. I just wanted to confirm our meeting tomorrow. You. Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to it. Now say it again slowly, then naturally. You can hear how polite yet relaxed it sounds. You can use the same tone for any kind of call, even casual ones. Friend. Hey, what's up? You. Not much, just chillin'. You? Friend. Same. Just wanted to say hi. You. That's sweet. Thanks for calling. These are all soft, friendly exchanges that build natural communication habits. Now, let's talk about sounding confident even when you're unsure. Sometimes you might not know the exact word or expression you need. And that's completely okay. Native speakers do that too. Instead of freezing, use simple fillers to give yourself time to think. For example, let me think for a sec. How do I say this? What's the word? Oh, right. Well, kinda like, you know what I mean? Let's practice those in a short conversation. Friend. So, what do you think of that movie? You. Let me think for a sec. It was good, but the ending was kinda strange. Friend. Yeah, I get what you mean. See, you sound fluent because you keep talking naturally instead of stopping. And that's one of the biggest secrets of speaking like a native speaker. Don't stop when you forget a word. Just fill the gap naturally and keep the flow going. Now let's take one last moment in this part to practice combining everything. A little scene that sounds just like real life. You. Hey, how's your day going? Friend. Pretty good, just finished work. You. Nice. Busy day? Friend. Yeah, crazy busy. I'm so tired. You. I feel you. Wanna grab a coffee? Friend. Sure, that sounds great. You. Cool, meet ya in 10. Friend. Perfect, see ya. Now close your eyes for a second, imagine this scene and say it again. Let it so unnatural, easy, confident. This is exactly how real English feels when it's flowing. Smooth, simple, emotional, and alive. You've done beautifully. In the next part, we'll dive into how to talk about deeper topics in American English. Feelings, goals, future dreams, and opinions. The kind of conversations that help you connect on a human level, not just a language level. I just want to say, you've done something amazing. You've spent time not only learning English, but feeling it, hearing its rhythm, its emotion, its flow. And that's what brings you closer to speaking like a native English speaker every single day. In this final part, we'll focus on deeper conversations, the kind Americans often have when they talk about life, dreams, goals, or personal experiences. These are the kinds of moments where your words connect you to people's hearts, not just their ears. Let's start with talking about your feelings and opinions. In American English, people often express their emotions directly but softly. Not too formal, not too strong. For example, if something makes you happy, you can say, "That makes me so happy," or "I love that." If something bothers you, you can say, "That's a little frustrating," or "I didn't really like that." Let's practice a few lines together. I'm really excited about this. That makes me happy. I was a little nervous at first. I felt so proud of myself. I didn't expect that to happen. Now say them again naturally, as if you're really talking to someone. Imagine a real person in front of you. Your tone will automatically sound warmer and more natural. Now, when you talk about feelings in daily life, you can connect them with small stories. Here's an example. I was nervous before my presentation today, but once I started talking, I actually felt confident. Friend. That's awesome. How did it go? It went really well. Everyone seemed interested. Repeat that short story naturally. Notice how you use emotion words like nervous, confident, and interested. Those are simple but powerful feelings that show authenticity in your voice. Now, let's go into talking about goals and dreams. Something Americans often discuss, even casually. You can say things like, "I'm hoping to," "I'd love to," "One day I want to," or "I've always dreamed of." Let's practice some examples. I'm hoping to travel more next year. I'd love to learn another language. One day, I want to start my own business. I've always dreamed of living by the ocean. Now say them again, slowly, with meaning. These expressions make your speech sound genuine and inspiring. Let's imagine a real conversation about future dreams. Friend. What do you want to do in the future? I'd love to move to another country and experience a different culture. Friend. That sounds amazing. Where would you go? Maybe the US or Canada? I've always dreamed of seeing the world. Friend. That's such a great goal. Yeah, I'm working on my English so I can make it happen. Now, repeat that naturally. This is the kind of meaningful English that connects people in real life. Let's talk about encouragement phrases. How Americans often support each other during conversations. You'll often hear people say, "You've got this." "Don't worry, you'll be fine." "I believe in you." "You're doing great." "Keep going." Say them with me. "You've got this." "Don't worry, you'll be fine." "I believe in you." "You're doing great." Keep going. Now imagine your friend is nervous before a big interview. You. "Hey, you've got this. You're totally ready." Friend. "Thanks, I'm just a bit nervous." You. "That's normal. Just be yourself." Friend. "I'll try. Wish me luck." You. "Good luck. You'll do amazing." Repeat that conversation naturally, with warmth in your voice. These simple sentences show care and positivity, and that's something every native speaker values. Now, let's talk about expressing empathy and understanding. This is when you show someone that you understand how they feel. Phrases like, "I get it," "I totally understand," "That must be hard," or "I know what you mean," are perfect for that. Let's try a short dialogue. Friend. "I've been so stressed lately." You. "I get it. Work's been really busy for me too." Friend. "Yeah, sometimes it's just too much." You. "I know what you mean. You should take a break if you can." Now repeat that again, slowly and naturally. Feel the empathy in your tone. Now, let's practice talking about personal growth and motivation, because it's a very common topic in American conversations. You can use phrases like, "I've been trying to," "I'm working on," "I've learned that," "I realized that," "It's not easy, but..." Let's use these in examples. "I've been trying to wake up earlier." "I'm working on being more organized." "I've learned that mistakes help you grow." "I realized that confidence comes with practice." "It's not easy, but it's worth it." Now repeat them. These are perfect lines for talking about your journey, your progress, or your experiences in life. Let's create a natural conversation about self-improvement. Friend, you've been so consistent with your English practice. You. Thanks, I've been trying to practice a little every day. Friend. That's awesome. It really shows. You. Yeah. I realize that even 10 minutes a day makes a big difference. Repeat that naturally, as if you're really chatting with a friend who's proud of your progress. Now, let's move to talking about memories and nostalgia, something people often share when they get comfortable in a conversation. You can start with phrases like, "I remember when," "It reminds me of," "When I was younger," "Back in the day," "I'll never forget." Let's use them in examples. "I remember when we used to play outside all day." "It reminds me of my hometown." "When I was younger, I loved watching cartoons." Back in the day, things were simpler. I'll never forget my first trip abroad. Now say them again naturally, adding a little pause before each memory. Let's make a short scene. Friend. Do you miss your hometown? You. Yeah, sometimes. It reminds me of my childhood. Friend. What do you miss most? You. Probably the food and the quiet streets. Friend. That sounds lovely. You. Yeah, I'll never forget those days. Now repeat this with emotion. Storytelling is not just about words, it's about feeling. Now let's talk about sharing opinions politely when the conversation gets deeper. In American English, even when people disagree, they usually keep a warm, respectful tone. For example, you can say, "I see what you're saying." That's an interesting point. I get your perspective. I think we just see it differently. I respect that. Let's practice. Friend. I think online classes are better than in-person ones. You. That's an interesting point. I actually prefer learning face-to-face. Friend. Yeah, I get that too. Notice how the tone stays calm and respectful. That's what makes American conversation friendly, even when people disagree. Now, let's practice giving compliments. A beautiful way to make connections in English. Americans give compliments very naturally. They might say, "I love your outfit." "You did an amazing job." That's a great idea. "You have such good energy." You're really good at this. Now repeat them with a smile in your voice. Let's use one in a short dialogue. You. Your presentation was awesome today. Friend. Thanks so much. You. You're really good at explaining things clearly. Friend. That means a lot, thank you. You see? Compliments. Make conversations positive and build trust quickly. Now, let's do a final fluency flow practice where you connect everything we've learned: natural rhythm, pronunciation, emotion, and tone. Repeat this slowly after me, then again more naturally. I'm learning every day. My English is getting better and better. I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I enjoy speaking with others. I sound more natural each time I practice. Now say them again with confidence. Smile as you speak. It changes how your voice sounds. Now let's end with one last real-life conversation that puts everything together. You. Hey, how've you been? Friend. Good, just busy with work. You. You. Same here, trying to balance everything. Friend. Yeah, I get that. You. I've been practicing my English more lately. Friend. Oh, nice. I can tell you sound great. You. Thanks. I've been doing daily practice, just talking to myself and repeating phrases. Friend. That's awesome. It's really working for you. You. Yeah, I feel more confident now. Speaking English used to scare me, but not anymore. Friend. That's amazing. You should be proud. You. Thanks. I guess the secret is just keep talking. Now, say that entire scene slowly, then again naturally. Let it flow like a movie in your mind. You've practiced greetings, small talk, storytelling, opinions, feelings, idioms, and emotion. All the things that make real American English come alive. And now, you've built something powerful. A voice that can express who you are in another language. Before we finish, let's say a few affirmations together to close this journey. I can speak English with confidence. I understand more every day. I can talk to native speakers naturally. My pronunciation is improving. I'm proud of how far I've come. Repeat those again with belief. Let the words feel real to you. You've spent this time listening, repeating, and connecting. And that's what makes fluency grow. Not just memorizing, but living the language a little more each day. So keep listening, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself, because every single word you practice brings you one step closer to the confident, fluent speaker you're becoming. Thank you for spending this time with me. And remember, don't just study English, live it, breathe it, speak it, and enjoy it. You're doing great, and I'll see you again in the next lesson.